But anyway, we got our favorite girl, Nikki Woods. She's on the line. Hey, Nikki and the Big D. Something to smile about. Cricket.
Something to smile about, absolutely. Cricket is definitely something to smile about. Hey, guys. Hey, Tammy. How are you guys?
Hi.
Hey, so my guest today, relationship expert Stephen James Dixon, says he has a formula that will save all relationships. Author of Men Don't Heal, They Hoe. Stephen says he can back up that claim no matter how controversial the advice or how heated the conversation gets, and I'm interested to see which way we go today. Hey, Stephen.
Hey, how we doing?
I'm good. Now, your book is called Men Don't Heal, They Hoe. So let's start by you explaining the difference between how women heal versus how men heal.
The difference is with men, a lot of times, we don't have a platform for explaining the things we're hurt about. And so one of the things the book does is communicating to men to how to figure out how to go about expressing themselves, finding mentors, finding partnerships and friendships that they can communicate what's necessary to get them to heal. Women, conversely, will get with their girlfriends and just have a wine party, talking party. Women actually encourage each other to talk and heal. A lot of times I work with women who will say, I'm not going to date for a while. I'm just going to relax and, feel better about me and reflect and learn from relationships. And we're just trying to get men to that stage where they're willing to learn and reflect on relationships.
So, but yeah, how do women tell the difference, though, between a man that is ready to be in a relationship or be a husband or a man that is still interested in the hoeing part?
What I do is I try to teach women not to concern themselves with the thoughts of men and really focus on their value. I think one of the things we're missing today is women saying, okay, I don't need to wait to figure out if this man is ready for marriage. I'm ready for marriage now, so I need to move on. And so I'm always teaching women, just if you're ready for marriage and he's not ready for marriage, then it's time for you to move on. Stop trying to figure out a man. Know who you are.
So, but who's the real problem with when it comes to relationships? Is it men or is it women?
It's a good question because the way I look at it is the greatest tragedy to man is to not have witnessed a man love a woman when he was a boy. Let me say that again. The greatest tragedy to man is to not have witnessed a man love a woman when he was a boy. The deficit of husbands and fathers in our families and communities have left men in a place where they don't really know what they're doing when they get married. We're in a place where marriage is on-the-job training. The difference is with women is that women sometimes get to see a mother love even if it's not in a relationship. They learn how to love. Love is their gift. It's natural for them. And so what I try to do is say to my women, you have the gift of discernment. We need you to hold us to what we need to do to advance a relationship. When I was single, I didn't know how to advance a relationship. I know how to get that booty, right? But I didn't know how to advance toward marriage, and it took my woman, my wife, who I respect, that kept the process moving toward marriage.
Wait.
Isn't the... Go ahead. I'm sorry.
Steve, this is Seven from the Al Rucker Show. If I heard you correctly, are you saying that the woman's example of love in the household is not sufficient enough for a young man to learn how to love appropriately in a relationship? And then to add to that, are you also saying that the absence of the father is a detriment to the young man learning how to love, but the absence of the father where the female is concerned is not? Because I'm from the aspect that if a woman has not seen a man love properly and fatherly absenteeism is quite relevant, that she doesn't even know what she's looking for or what needs she really has because she's never seen an example of a man love a woman. So it's not just to the young man that absence has a negative effect, but to the family as a whole. And my whole thing is this, brother. I really have a problem with men being villainized in relationships and it always being spent that the woman did nothing or is not responsible or has no accountability in the demise of the relationship.
My principle is that all marriages, all relationships are either successful or they fail based solely on the leadership of the man. I compare the man in marriage to the coach of the football team. I compare the man in marriage to the CEO of the company. I compare the man in marriage to the president. Someone has to be responsible. If you look at divorce decrees all over the country, what you see is irreconcilable differences.
So
my point is to make someone responsible for
you make both
how a
responsible.
marriage is.
So
What do you tell
this
the
is
lady?
Nyan Zamora, and I happen to be an attorney, and I've had to have done at least 750 divorces. And so, in Texas, we have a no-fault state, which means neither party is in more responsible for the breakup of the marriage. Both parties are equally responsible. So to say that a marriage would break down because the man failed to lead the marriage in the right direction, I'm not going to be able to say, you know, I can completely agree with that because I've done the divorces. I've seen the pre-effects and the after effects of the divorce, and sometimes it's the woman who's not ready to love a man the way that she's supposed to love him, and oftentimes it's it's the man.
One second. My point is that no one is being responsible. If the company does not return a profit, the CEO is fired. If the team does not win, the coach is fired. In marriage, we have no one that takes responsibility. So I'm encouraging our men to take responsibility. I'm not disagreeing with your point about what happens in marriage. I'm not freeing women from all responsibility. I'm saying that men have to step up into their leadership role and be the person that says, okay, I'm a problem solver. I'm not just a problem identifier. I'm a sacrifice first. I'm a compromise first. I'm a lead and apologize.
So that's good.
You know, so we need our men to be able to pick up some of these traits and characteristics in order for our marriages to continue to grow and evolve.
So that sounds like more from a biblical standpoint, where the man should be the head of the household. So if that's where you're coming from, I can completely
Well, I
understand
disagree
that.
with it. We need to. So how did you come up with that title? Men don't heal, we hoe. Yeah, explain that.
The Men Don't Heal, We Hoe is about the relationship. It's about when a man is in a relationship with a woman, he breaks up with her on Thursday. Friday, he got another woman. Saturday, it's a different woman. We see it consistently throughout our culture.
So that doesn't happen on the women's side? Women don't do that? Women don't do that?
Not nearly as often. Not nearly as I said often. Of course, I can't speak for 100% of either side, men or women, right? The average man, when he goes through a relationship, when he's hurt, he doesn't deal with that pain. He doesn't seek counseling.
I don't think women do either. I just want to interject. This is Tammy Roman, and I want to say that I understand in theory what you're saying. However, I think that the reality of the moment is women don't heal either, which is why we oftentimes go into other relationships. They may not be Friday or Saturday, to point to your references, but we bring our baggage. We bring the same thing that we had in the other relationship into the new relationship. And so the demise of the relationship, accountability has to be on both sides. I think that both people that enter into a relationship, they're both cognizant of what theoretically love signifies and what it should be and what it should represent, but neither party, especially if you're of a certain age, is healing properly. So and I commend the fact that you authored this. I respect that. I respect what you're trying to do and the message you're trying to put out. I just don't want it to be misleading in the sense that it appears that you're glorifying women and demonizing men, because we're all the same. We're all doing the same thing.
No, there isn't a successful unit, organization, company structure, anything. There's co-anything. Co-anything does not work. We need to raise men as leaders. I am a man. I'm a leader. Until I learned how to lead in my relationship, and again, leading is an example of me being able to apologize first, right? Just simply. Leading is me saying, okay, I'm not going to go back and forth with my wife. I'm not going to argue all day. I'm going to say, wait a minute, honey, we're going down the wrong track. Let me start over. Let me try to communicate it differently.
Yeah, so I think that in a relationship, this is Attorney Nyan Zamora, and I was just thinking about, maybe in 1775 and in 1875, prehistoric days, the man would be walking in front and the woman behind. But I think that now with women working and bringing in income and it's more of an equal footing. I don't think any woman I'm not today's woman would want to say that my husband's the leader and I just walk behind him. I think it's a partnership, and if it's a good partnership, since you like the corporate references, in a limited liability partnership, both parties are equally responsible. So they work side by side. So it takes two powerhouse companies to do a merger.
Yeah.
It's a merger, not an acquisition. So we're going to look at marriage as a merger. So you got these two buildings that are now going to merge. They're going to walk beside each other. When one party feels like they're more important, they acquire the other party and get into a new relationship.
Nikki, you still there?
Never a reference.
Nikki.
Yeah, I'm still here.
We're sorry.
We hijacked you.
We didn't hijack your interview, but Steve Harvey. I mean, Steve.
For real.
One thing real quick. There was never a reference.
Steve Harvey over here. I mean, Stephen.
Right on.
Never a reference. Just one point of clarity. There was never
are you married,
reference
Stephen?
to someone being more important. I am married 12 years.
Okay, so tell me, how does this go? What does your wife think about this book? I'm still stuck on this title, man. You hurting us. You and Steve been in the same room together. Y'all roommates or buddies? Because he came out with a book. What was the name of his book? Act like a lady, think like a man, and then here you are telling we hoes.
So when Steve Harvey referenced, then she supposed to act like a lady and hoe like a man.
Yeah,
Right,
something, man.
right.
You got to have another book, brother. You got to come out with something else.
The purpose of the book was to walk men from being a hoe or being a woman.
But brother,
into
I'm gonna tell you
being a
this here.
husband.
I'm not picking no book up that says that I'm a hoe. I'm not bringing that home and sitting there reading that.
I might buy it.
I'm pretty sure you're a pimp.
You just said
I might buy it.
you might
But
buy
she's a
it.
pimp. That's all.
That's because I'm a niece few, so.
Being raised Southern Baptist, I will say this. I was married. I was unsuccessful at it. And I think part of the reason I was so unsuccessful at it is that I did try I am the male, I am the leader of the house. And what I found was the go-getter, intelligent, trendsetter, jet-setter woman that I wanted absolutely was not going to go for that antiquated household setup, with the, hey, in the words of James Evans, the kitchen and the bedroom, Florida. She wasn't having that, man. And I just took a big old L. Damn. You know what I'm saying? Man, my ex-wife had an MBA, bruh, and she, was belittled to laundry? Hell no.
Yeah.
No, bro.
Nah, we don't do that.
Y'all, all of y'all are not listening to the points I'm making. The first point I said is a leadership example is being to apologize first.
Well,
I
I'm
said nothing
sorry.
about nobody cooking or being able to apologize first is the first
You
place.
need to
Being able
apologize
to
about this title.
compromise.
Men don't heal, we hope.
No, exactly the title. Exactly
No.
what men are going through.
No, I ain't going through that.
All right,
You going through
well.
that, Seven?
Maybe a better title would have been Some Men Don't
Yeah,
Heal,
you gotta do something.
They Hoe.
Yeah,
Consider
something.
Well, but at least it has us talking about it, and I think that's the biggest takeaway from the title of the book, is at least it started a conversation, whether or not we agree. And I think the scariest part of this whole thing is that Seven and I had exactly the same question for Stephen. So I'm going to have to reevaluate my thinking a little bit.
Or just agree to
But
disagree.
Yeah.
Your
well,
thinking
that's
is
what-
just fine.
Right,
Just
well,
like his
yeah,
is just fine.
Absolutely.
Well-
Absolutely.
well,
But
Nikki,
having the conversation certainly lends to healing.
Yeah, well, we definitely thank you, Nikki, and Steven. We appreciate you. We appreciate you. We got to get you back. We're gonna get you. We're gonna get you in the studio and look you in the eyes, brother. On this one.
We need to let the women call in.
We
The
gonna-
men call in while
We're
you
gonna have to
here.
get you down here. So we appreciate you guys. And men heal. We don't hoe. That's the new book.
Amen.
All right.
Unless it's Christmas.
Yeah.
Unless
More
it's
about
Christmas.
Stephen.
Unless it's Christmas.
When it's Christmas, I ho.
Ask Al is next.
Ask Al is next. We're gonna take a quick break. Thank you for tuning in to the Al Rucker Show.
Oh, my
You want to ask Al, do men hoe?
No.